Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have the President of the Republic is back in Djibouti this afternoon. For the international scene, New Zealand PMs meets Christchurch terror attacks. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, is come back to the capital Djibouti after this afternoon, after his official visit in Mogadishu. The President shared the inauguration ceremony of the new premises of Djibouti Chancellery in the Somali capital, Mogadishu. He also delivered a speech in front of the Somali Parliament. A grand ceremony was organized for the inauguration of the new premises of the Djibouti Chancellery in Mogadishu in the presence of Somali officials, including President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, and give us a rise to a great popular animation in the presence of the artists of Somalia and the Republic of Djibouti. The official inauguration of a new embassy of our country in Mogadishu, located in the popular district of Abdelaziz Tourist. Republic of Djibouti in Mogadishu is a modern, spacious, and composed of several buildings of combined diplomatic, consular, cultural, and administrative. Busy days for the President of the Republic this morning in Mogadishu before his return to the countries. In addition to the official meetings, the President chaired this morning the inauguration ceremony of the capital Mogadishu. He also delivered a speech in front of the Somali Parliament. A grand ceremony was organized for the inauguration of the new premises of Djibouti Chancellery in Mogadishu in the presence of Somali officials, Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, the artists of Somalia and the Republic of Djibouti. The official inauguration of a new embassy of our country in Mogadishu, located in the popular district of Abdelaziz Tourist Bay, erected by the sea. The new embassy of the Republic of Djibouti in Mogadishu is a modern, spacious, and composed of several buildings combined diplomatic, consular, cultural, and administrative. The brand new Djiboutian diplomatic establishment is placed under the authority of the ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Federal Republic of Somalia, His Excellency Aden Hassan Aden. The Somali President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo first wish in his speech the welcomes to the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. In his address, he stressed that this meeting bears witnesses to the fraternal and historical relationship.
President Farmajo said at the ceremony that President Ismail Omar Guelleh was welcomed in Mogadishu, reflecting the Somali people's well-being and love for the Somali people, emphasizing the importance of brotherly relations and cooperation between the two countries. The warm welcome of the Somali people living in Mogadishu welcomed you, and your delegation demonstrates the prosperity of the Somali people in Djibouti. We have already received a reward from you, and you have been circumcised. We have been circumcised, and we will be circumcised, said President Farmajo.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, stressed in his speech that it was in the interest of two people brotherly that relations in matters of bilateral cooperation can go forward. Listen to the report.
على رسوله الأمين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. مدن مدحوينه walaalkay Maxamed Abdullahi Maxamed Farmaajo.
President Gele also expressed his delights in his visit to Mogadishu, saying he was successful in the beginning of ARTA's efforts to restore Somalia with its sovereignty and dignity. My heart is troubled, but what we are doing in the 20 years of the ARTA conference, we have been striving to strengthen our society and dignity in the global competition, said President Ismail. President Ismail Omar Gele also said that it was necessary to safeguard the country's sovereignty and congratulated the Somali people in the effort to resolve their difference at the same time, underscoring that the Djibouti government is committed to the Somali people understanding what is going among them.
After the inauguration ceremony, the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Gele, took part in a solemn sittings of the Somali Parliament, where he delivered a historic speech in the Assembly of the Federal Republic of Somalia. During his stays from 48 hours to Mogadishu in Somalia, the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Gele, went this morning to the Somali Parliament, where he held an important speech in front of the two chambers together. The President of the Republic yesterday made an official visit to Mogadishu, Somalia, following the invitations of his peers. The President of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Mohammed Abdullahi Mohammed Farmaajo. Upon his arrival at the Somali Parliament, President Gele was welcomed by the speakers of the Somali Parliament and parliamentarian. The national. Djibouti was honored in the Somali Parliament, where the head of state had all the honors of his rank. During his welcoming speech at the Somali Assembly, Mr. Mohammed Mursal Sheikh Abdurrahman, President of the Somali Chambers of Representatives, said, as we all know, Somalis have traditions of sharing their needs through song and poems. Listen to the report.
As we all know, Somalis have a tradition of sharing their needs through songs and poems. Yesterday evening, songs and poems performed by the artists reflect the willingness and the public opinion of the Somali people. Today, the Somali population, regardless in its geographical location, is pleased with the visit of Djibouti President. They also welcomed the meeting between the two heads of state and the members of the respective governments. Also noteworthy is the attendance of some well-known Djiboutian artists, which it was in fact their first presence among us last night. He then continued addressing to the President of the Republic, commenting that it determines and shows that he has a place in the hearts of Somali people.
The head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gele, stressed in his speech that he was in the interest of two brotherly people, that relations in matters of bilateral cooperation can go forward. Listen to the head of state. The head of state, once again, the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gele, stressed in his speech that in the interest of two brotherly people, the relations of matters of bilateral cooperation can go forward.
idinku aaminay mustaqbal dawladeed mustaqbal dal leedinku aaminay rag iyo dumar dhalin iyo waayeel waxa la inaga sugayay waxa weeyaan inaan ka jawaabno rabitaanka shacbiga.
Official dinners organized by the Somali presidency in the honors of President Gile and the strong delegations that accompany it. After being received with all honors at the Mogadishu airport, followed by an extended working meetings at the two Djiboutian and Somali delegations, which began with a head held between the two presidents of Djibouti and Somalia. A dinners was organized last night in honors of the President Ismail Omar Gelle and his delegation's member of government and the parliamentarians of Somali, senior officials and diplomats accredited in Somalia, senior civilian military officials of Somalia and forces of the front participate in the official dinners. Varied meals were offered to the guests and the dinners was enhanced by a musical and folkloric atmosphere animated by the artists. For his part in the interview, the Somali Foreign Minister Ahmed Isa Awad said in his interview that the visit of the Djiboutian's president is a very high-level visit because it is an important step of the brotherly country. We have same cultures and same ways of life, and we are all proud of this visit, he stressed in an interview. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Muhammad Mahamoud, and UNICEF representative Janabu Maonde jointly lead the work of the midterms review of the education's action plan that opened this morning at the Sunny Hill Centers in Arta. The group of local partners, but also the executive and managers of the MENFO participate in these meetings to make an inventory of the technical and financial executions of the 2017-2020 EAP to measure the level of the achievement of the objectives set and formulate, adjust and add new activities. In an opening statement, the MENFO, Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahamoud, highlighted the priority of the current EAP, which revolve around 5 points, namely the increase by 2020 of access of by preschool years, strengthening equity for inclusive education, improving the quality of learning. For her part, the UNICEF representative and leaders of the group of local education partners, Ms. Janabu Maonde, agreed with the MENFO. She recalled that the objectives of this meeting, which should assess the progress made in 2018 in the implementations of the 2017-2020 EAP, identify the challenges and make relevant recommendations. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jama Al-Mi'uki, held a meetings of his staff with his staff for a mid-terms review of the Zero Cataract campaign in Djibouti, which set the courses for the interior regions. In addition to the Secretary General of Health, Dr. Saleh Benito Turab, the meeting saw the participation of many directors and senior staff of the Department of Health. Indeed, after the capital, the campaign Zero Cataract in Djibouti will continue from March 16 to 21 at the CNH in Dekhil for the southern region and the CMH Tajura for the northern region. Thus, the Minister of Health has taken all necessary steps to ensure the patient's transport of Ali Sabih to Dekhil and those of Obok to Tajura. The objectives of this caravan, Zero Cataract in the Republic of Djibouti, aim to significantly reduce the prevalence of low vision related to cataract throughout the country. Opening this morning at the UNFD of a training ceremony for the benefit of the district councils for the of Djibouti City as part of the strengthening of community approaches for the promotions of children's rights and hygiene and sanitation practices. The ceremony brought together UNICEF Deputy Representative Alexandra Ilmer, UNFD Secretary General Fatuma Musa, Djibouti City Mayor Fatuma Awale Usman, and the Minister for Women and Family, Ms. Momina Ahmed Hassan. In a city like Djibouti, where there is a high concentration of urban populations and where the largest number of children live in Djibouti, UNICEF has ratified its commitment to the city at the recent signings of the work plan with the main objectives of gradually transforming the city of Djibouti into the child-friendly city. A child-friendly city, it is a city that will guarantee the rights of the child to essential services, access to health care, education, housing, drinking water, and above all, a safe and secure environment, said the UNICEF Secretary General and Deputy Representative of UNICEF in their comments. In an intervention is made at this point, the mayors of the city, Mr. Fatuma Awale Usman, thanked the Minister of Women and Family for the support provided by the department for the benefits of the mayors and the city to this action. For her part, the Minister of Women and Family, Ms. Momina Ahmed Hassan, expressed herself in these terms that the ceremony to launch the trainings of neighborhood councils on communication techniques, good practices of environmental hygiene and children's rights is part of the initiative of Djibouti City, Friend of Children. The mayor affirmed that today's meeting follows the signatures of a partnership agreement between UNICEF and the Djibouti City Councils, which commits us together in the initiative for a city friend of children. The minister delegate in charge of decentralization, Hamad Mohamed Al-Ramis, today received at his cabinet the Egyptian ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Ahmed Adel Subhi. Their discussion is focused on ways to strengthen the support of Egyptian cooperation to the Department of Decentralization for the current year. The minister took this opportunity to inform the diploma that the generator set by the Egyptian corporations to his department for the electrification of the city of Dorrat of Tujura regions has been deposited on the site, and the connection steps are ongoing thanks to the perfect collaboration of his colleagues from the Ministry of Energy responsible for natural resources, Yonis Ali Geddi, and Djibouti's Director General of EDD, Mr. Jama Ali Gelle. The Egyptian diplomat expressed appreciation for the ministry's effort and assured the minister that he will do his best to continue and strengthen support. The Djiboutian Football Federation organized the finals of the tournament of the Women's Championship of the season 2018-2019 at the King Fahad Farhat complex between the two finalists team, namely the women's team of Hayable against the female team of Djibouti Armed Forces. In the presence of the president of the Djiboutian Football Federation, Mr. Suleiman Hassan Waberi, accompanied by the Secretary General of the Youth Sports Secretariat, Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Farah, General of the Djiboutian Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, General Ali Hassan, and senior officials of the Djiboutian Armed Forces, as well as the sport directors of and the colonels of the Coast Guard, Mr. Wais Umar, and the Colonel Ahmed Dahir, commanders of the National Navy, without forgetting the Directive Committee of the Djiboutian Federations of Football, the first Vice President and the second Vice President, the Secretary General, President of the Women's Football Commissioners, and Lieutenant of the Republican Guard responsible for the sports services. For the international scene, New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said on Sunday that she was awaiting explanations from Facebook and other social networks after the live broadcast of images of carnage in the mosque in Christchurch, which killed 15 people. The Australian extremist Brenton Tarrant filmed and broadcasted live on Facebook the massacres in a video where we see him pass from victims to victims, shootings at the wounded and close range as they try to flee. Jacinda Ardern's in contact with Sheryl Sanders, the American groups managed to delete the 17 minutes videos, but it had previously been shared many times on YouTube and Twitter. The social network were struggling to remove the images, stating that she remains questions requiring from interest giant Jacinda Ardern. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.